We're coming here believing in improvisation.
We started out doing the same thing that we'd always done, which was look for the magic moments when we played together.
So it allows the four of us to be in the songwriting process. Even before we went there, there was a sense of something not quite right. And then when we got there, we were on completely different pages.
We would go into the room and we would just bash it out hour after hour, listen back and not like anything that we were doing.
This is unexpected. We've got these great ideas sounding great in Dublin, and now we've hit Berlin, and what's wrong here?
Love is blindness, I don't wanna see. Won't you wrap the night around me? Oh my love, love is blindness.
His marriage is breaking up, has broken up. We're a really tight community. So this is not like somebody's, girlfriend's left, or we've grown up with these people. This is our family, our community. This was really hard for us and very difficult for my wife. It was like the first cracks on the beautiful porcelain jug with those beautiful flowers in it. That was our music, and our community was starting to go.
Blindness, love is blindness, I don't wanna see.
Leaving Dublin for Berlin was actually, in a weird way, it was a distraction, a way to escape.
Oh my love, blindness.
I was disappearing into the music for a different reason, It was a refuge in a way.
No call, no warning, baby, a dangerous idea that almost makes sense.
That approach didn't completely work, I wasn't really in a good, positive headspace. I was running away, I suppose. I remember being in the studio playing a guitar solo over Love is Blindness. I put everything into it. All the feeling, all the hurt, all the angst, everything went into that solo. Put down the guitar, went into the control, and listened back. That was really bad. And Danny looked at me. Of course, he had no idea what had gone into that. And he said, nah, that's not it, is it, Edge? And I went, Danny, you're right, it's not it.
Around me, oh my love, blindness.
Ever since we were kids, Edge tunes up at high volume, and he doesn't know that he's doing it. And based on the day he's having and his emotional life, he tunes up more or less. So when he's going through his bad times, dang, da-dang, da-dang. So it's like being hit by an iron bar on the back of your head, just going through rehearsals. And Larry's sitting there, he can't even move, and it was like, Edge, would you shut the fuck up? We're trying to talk here. And Edge just goes like, ga-dang, ga-dang, ga-dang.
We were kind of going down a lot of blind alleys, and there was a lot of friction, there was a lot of tension, and nobody was particularly happy.
And there begins a sort of internal argument about where we're not going. There was a lot of grumbling as to why we were there in the first place, and nothing was coming out of it.
Within the band, myself and Bono were probably the ones pushing hardest to try new things. Adam was with us. Larry was probably the most resistant and questioning why we were taking the direction we were taking.
It was just not really understanding
what Bono and Edge had in mind, where they were coming from, because I'd no idea that they were exploring, and particularly Edge was exploring a particular kind of rhythmic and dancing. I had no idea.
There was no us against them, really. I think it was probably, for a moment, each man for himself, which is betrayal of the concept of a band.
People just start to walk a bit differently. The conversation is a little different. The way they carry their cup of tea is different. There's just a sense of tension, of doubt, of... Everyone sort of retreats somewhat into their own little corner.
It was a long, cold existence.
It's fraught with danger because you can fail at any moment, but that's the whole beauty of it. If you're prepared to remove the safety net, and if you're prepared to really expose yourselves, because your pursuit is after the magic moments, those moments of, wow, I would never have imagined.
What I did was I just started to concentrate on ways to solve the musical problems, which is my main sort of personality trait, is a solver of problems.
We would have a rough kind of chord structure, a rough melody, and we would basically try and get a drum take.
I was using a lot of loops and drum machine elements, and so we were trying to mesh Larry's live playing with these programmed elements.
I'd never played to a drum machine that was going to be so present. So this was a very new experience, and I didn't really know what to do. I didn't know how to give myself to it.
I came in with my offering of the morning of, how about these ideas for the chorus? I don't know which version we were working on.
Starting to come into focus. New bridge.
Okay, this is the bit that I was saying that never made the song. Well, this is that. But there was another new bridge. Wow.
That's a bit mad.
The verse seemed to offer some kind of eternal, joyful, upful melody.
Interesting. That was the first. Is that the first? Is that the first time that melody?
That's the first time those chords and that melody were tried out.
But didn't that shift into...
One.
I played these on acoustic guitar, and everyone was like trying to decide whether they were any good. And then Danny said, Edge, why don't you play those two ideas sequentially? Just play one after another. See what happens. So I did, and everyone was like, oh, that sounds really good. Let's try that. Let's try that in the big room.
when you're at that moment of inception, there's a sense of momentum that takes you into a different place. You're not in the environment, you're not in those four walls.
So we all went into the big room. I showed Adam the chords and we just started playing them. Bono got on the microphone and...
Did you got it? Nothing.
Fuck.
Did you want it? Nothing.
Suddenly something very powerful is happening in the room.
Acoustic guitar at the speed of light.
Something happens, something comes into the room, and you know it. Everyone knew it. Danny. It was one of those hairs on the back of your neck moments.
You're nothing personal. Does it numb to end your call? When the movie's going there, one of us is time bridge. We sing to name piano edge to the sea, stay on the sea. Listen, A minor, F to G. You can get the piano in, Edge. That helped me the last time. And I'd like to hear Edge, Joe.
He's calling out the chords and moving the chords to figure out where the fertile ground is melodically for him.
Such a pivotal moment. We'd been going through this hard time and nothing seemed to be going right. Suddenly, we were presented with this gift that just kind of arrived. It steadied everyone's nerves hugely in the studio. We're playing these changes, but we're really listening to what Bono's doing on the microphone. Every time he sort of finds a new place to go melodically, we try and go with him dynamically. We, as a band, always seem to come alive when we're all aware of the fact that there's something new happening in the room. Whatever it is, some little spark, some angle that's new, and then everyone's suddenly there.
It can happen very, very quickly, or tragically, very slowly. But in the case of one, things happened extremely quickly.
It's the wrong tempo there. You're put off by your echo. I don't want them to take off the echo, though, if there's a chance they'll lose it.
It wasn't that we found a sonic identity for that. That sort of came later. I think it was we found a spiritual identity. That was the important thing. That was what we actually needed.
There's a sort of blood pact, which is that we have to be truthful with each other. And so it wasn't working. We'd run out of gas. And maybe just saying that was, you know, that maybe we've outgrown each other. It wasn't Adam's fault, it wasn't Larry's fault, it wasn't Danny's fault. They weren't convinced because we weren't convincing them. The material wasn't done, it wasn't right. Where's the songs? You know, cut the crap, show us your willy, as the cartoon says. You ever seen that with a peacock? Peacock's showing the big fantail. Somebody goes, just cut the crap and show us your willy.
Next time we do the chorus, I want you not to end on a G, but end on a C. Did you hear that, Adam?
The way through writer's block is always by being truthful. To write a song about division, a bittersweet song about disunity.
I think what was going on at that time took us a long time to come to terms with. And I almost can't remember what we were actually trying to come to terms with. but I know we carried each other to the point where we could stand on our own feet.
At the Christmas, everybody just went, fine, that's enough. Go back to Ireland.